Okay. Whatever about that guy. I actually listened to a podcast that had Stone Cold in it like a year ago. It's kind of cool. He does his own podcast. Whatever. Whoever this Game Boy is, what are you trying to say? Because no one else is streaming. Yeah, okay, whatever. Listen, here's the big announcement. This is the big announcement. Are you ready? I hope you're ready. I have officially, formally, and without any reservation, ordered my PC parts. I'm serious. I'm being really serious. I have just ordered, as of today, all of my personal computer parts to craft my very own personal computer. For here. Down here. I already have a computer upstairs, but it's kind of old. Not really old. It's more like, it's an i5. It's got an i5 in it. It's got a GTX 660 Ti. Okay, so it's kind of old. The one upstairs is kind of old. Here's the thing. I used to always have my computer upstairs, and down here in the basement is where I would have my console stuff. This is where all my console stuff would happen. When I decided to stream, I didn't realize that I would need my personal computer to stream off of the deal. Because I started with the PS4. This is the big announcement. Why are you guys not saying anything? This is the big announcement. This is huge. This is a huge announcement. So when I first started streaming on my PS4, I was streaming off that. And it was pretty damn low tier. It's about as low tier as you can get when it comes to streaming. It's not very good. It got a little better over time. I hear it's actually almost reasonable now to stream off of it, with the exception that you don't get very much control like you do when you do something like this. But when I started, I didn't realize that I would need my computer. I didn't think I would I didn't think I would need it. I figured I would just do it off the PS4 for all my life, right? I never thought I would do anything more than that. But as the time went on, I realized that streaming is actually really fucking fun. I love sharing in my game stuff, and I wanted to do more than what my PS4 was allowing me, because my PS4 would only stream games that are active, right? You have to play a game in order to stream off the PS4. And I was just like, this kind of sucks. I'd like to stream all sorts of shit. Lo and behold, I get a laptop thinking, well, it's kind of a lateral move. I get a laptop, I can stream a little more properly. It's still only 30 frames per second. But I would have a webcam I could control, I'd have the Twitch alerts. It would be better. It would be an improvement. Just kind of a moderate improvement. So for how long has it been? I want to say it's been over a year and a half. I mean, it's been over 3 years since I started. Probably a year out with the PS4, I got the laptop. So now, I have been angling for a personal computer that I could bring down here. And while I could do it on my main one upstairs, I could bring that down here and all that shit, I don't want to. Because for my entire life, I have been playing my PC upstairs. I use it a lot. I sit down there, I browse shit. You know, whenever I have time that I'm not streaming, especially when I'm eating, I will fucking do stuff on that computer upstairs. So I need a new one. I need a brand new one. I need one that's more up to date, that can handle some video games, and can stream. And for the last several months, I've been talking about how when I get my job, one of the key elements is that I managed to save up and get a new computer that would then be my downstairs computer. It would replace my streaming laptop, and I would have a proper setup, a proper computer and everything. It is finally happening. It is finally happening. I ordered not all of the parts, but 90% of the parts. The only thing I really need to do now is settle on a graphics card. But I wanted to wait, mostly because I don't really have the money for the card yet. But I was able to afford everything else, minus Windows operating system, because I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't know if I really want to jump into Windows 10, or if I just want to bootlegged Russian website Windows 7. I'm not sure which I want to do. Those questions aside, graphics card and the Windows thing, I have all the parts coming. And the biggest hurdle about this is not that it's a dragon dildo computer, but that it is a computer that I am going to put together, and I have never put a PC together before in my entire life. I've never done it. So, this is brand new. I mean, this is brand new. I have never done anything like it. Now, I didn't really go cheap with this. I mean, I wanted this computer. Originally, I wanted to make it a stream-only machine. And while I'm talking about this, I will go and try and get us a parts list. Since I just did this, I'm sure I can do it. Like I said, when I originally started, I actually wanted it to be a cheap stream machine. I was gonna go for some cheap shit. Not graphics card wise, I'm sorry. Well, maybe I would with the graphics card, but I mean, just in general, I was gonna do a really cheap, maybe $400 or $500 machine that's capable of streaming, and that's it. It would just stream. But every time I addressed it, I kept thinking to myself, the only thing that stops this machine from being a proper video game playing modern machine is the graphics card. If I just get everything else, I could probably get it for maybe a couple $100 more than like a bare thing. Yes, that's exactly where I'm going. Thank you. Click this. I have a link here. I want to say, I think I have it up to date. Yeah, except I don't know. Okay, I got some things on here I want to get rid of really quick, because I did not order the Windows 10, so I'm going to get rid of that. Really, it was just like for price evaluation, I put that on there. And the same thing I did for, oh man, and this is another thing we can talk about. I gotta go through the list. This is not the right list, but I'm gonna edit it so that it is the right list, and then I can copy paste it into the stream, I guess on a notepad or something. You know what, fuck it, why am I doing it like this? I actually have the link in here. I'm sorry, the whole stream is probably bogging like shit, but it's only for a moment. I just gotta grab the link of what I was using. There we go, I go like that. There we go, this should be it. This should be it with all the stuff taken out. It is still pretty expensive though. That's the thing, like it's pretty damn expensive. So I'm gonna grab that. Alright, so I got it copied. What I need to do now is new. I don't know if I can actually show this on the stream. But I guess I could just actually I could just do something. Hang on, let me go to this. Why is this so hard to do? Like, I don't think I could put Notepad on here, can I? Can I show you guys Notepad? Would that work? Display capture? No, that wouldn't be it. Okay, what I could do is I could just grab this and do like a print screen. Do I have a print screen on here? Yes, print screen. This is so old school. Let's go to Paint. Bring this shit up, paste it. Booyah. Let's kind of crop it out really quick. Copy. Because I know I can put an image up. This is really, like I'm saying, this is like the only way I know how to do it. It's like I can't put the document list immediately in there. But I can at least do it like this. Save this shit. Save it in pictures, whatever, it's not a big deal. Alright, cool. Now I'm gonna go to this image. Yes. Get rid of this. Don't save that. Browse. Pictures. Wow, I got a couple of pictures. Why did I have it? There we go. Save this shit. There we go. So there you go. That right there. I don't know if you can really make heads or tails of it too well. It's a little small, but so excuse me. This is the whole parts. This is the parts list that I copied and then pasted into a document. So, Intel Core i7 6700K. This is I guess kind of the modern thing, right? It's the modern I guess, latest chipset that everybody uses. It's not really the latest, but it's the one that everybody kind of piles on. It's the K version, 6700K. It's two different things, right? I think a lot of people still use i5 because i5 is really good for what it does. The only reason I decided to go with i7 is because I'm doing two things, right? I'm streaming and I'm going to be playing video games. In that very specific scenario where I am actually doing two things rather than just one thing, the i7 has a bit of an advantage over the i5s. The i5s don't quite process multiple things as well as the i7, from what I understand. So the i7 is going to give me a considerable boost to, specifically, it's like video encoding. And video encoding is part of the streaming process. If I'm being accurate about this, I'm pretty sure that's the deal. So it's a good move to get the i7, even though it's like $100 more. I think it might even be more than that. I managed to get a good deal for $299. So it wasn't the 316 there. I got it for about a flat $300, which is really cool. So that's my chip. I gotta pick up some thermal paste or some shit, I guess. That's gonna be weird as fuck. I mean, putting this together is gonna be weird. But after that, I got the cooler, which is just a random cooler. It's just a CPU cooler. I went to Something Awful and kind of read through the mega thread on building this shit, and they have a big list of recommended stuff, and I kind of just grabbed that. It looks like it fits in I put it in the PC parts picker, make sure it all fits. There's no problems with it. So, yeah, there you go. The motherboard, this is the interesting deal. It's an ASRock Mini. You can see the whole technical layout there, but it's a Mini. It's not going to be a proper tower. I'm actually, because you can see way down at the bottom there, my case is a Thermaltake Core V1 Mini. It's actually pretty small. It's a small case. It will not be a tower like I have upstairs. It's actually going to be like a square. If you go on YouTube and see that shit, it's kind of neat. But I was really attracted to the idea of making something smaller. Because like I said, when I started out, I wanted a stream machine, and I wanted it to be pretty compact and small. Just to have it that way. It wasn't supposed to be like a big beast of a rig. It was just supposed to be a stream box. But I realized that I didn't have to really compromise on anything to really make it like a gaming platform. They make it something to do games with. So I decided to keep the case and the motherboard and just have it be like this smaller thing that's more like a cube. It's really cool. If you go online and like look up that case, it looks pretty cool. Unless you are throwing out your laptop, you can also run games on the PC and stream by the laptop. So the problem with that is I will not be able to do 60 frames per second. And even though that's okay for a lot of PlayStation 4 games, I want to have the option of having 60 because I will be playing shit like Tekken. I'll be playing Tekken, and that's 60 frames per second. I like fighting games in general, so I should be playing them more often, and hopefully I will someday. So that's a bunch of 60 frames per second games that I could be playing. On top of that, Nier, whatever, that the big booty robot woman, that's a 60 frames game as well. And I want to be able to stream that. I want to be able to stream 60 frames per second. Do yourself a favor, if you have the money, get 16 GB on the RAM. 16 gigabytes? So I heard that it's really, really not necessary to do that. Like, if you get 8 gigabytes, you're fine, which is what I got. I got 8 gigabytes. I don't know why. I don't really understand where RAM goes, how it random access memory. I don't really understand its entire functionality in the system. So everything I read was like, if you buy 8 gigabytes of RAM, you'll be fine and you'll be able to do virtually everything on the planet. But if you needed more RAM, then yeah, you would get 16 gigabyte. The problem is if you get more RAM and you're not even using it, it's a complete waste of money. So, I mean, my understanding is that 8 gigabytes is really it. You're not really going to use more than that. You're the first person I've heard to suggest 16 gigabytes on the RAM. And it's not a very trivial matter here. We are talking like another $70. I mean, it's about a $70. I spent 50 I managed to spend $50 on the RAM that I am buying, the 8 gigabytes Kingston RAM or something. Is that what that was? Kingston? Yeah, Kingston HyperX Fury. That shit was on sale for $50 and only with a promo code that ends in a couple days. So I picked that up. And from what I understand, 8 is fine. The 8 is all I need. So I don't know where I'm going to get another 8. But, maybe down the road I can do that. Like, this looks like something that wouldn't be too hard to add that later on. Maybe if cables get in their way or something. But in any case, yeah, I don't know. I just went with the 8. It's just what everyone suggests. After that's the motherboard, and then that was the memory. That's the RAM. Storage. Okay, so the storage is really weird. And this one I could actually use some help on, even though I already bought it. I bought a 500 gigabyte solid state drive. And the reason I bought 500 gigabytes is because I could have bought a 250 gigabyte, and I was comparing the amount of storage space like my PS4 has and what my PC upstairs has. I have a 1 terabyte hard drive on my current PC. And then my PS4 down here has only like a 250 or something like that. It's not very big. And already I am hitting the limit of my games right now. I can't install any more games on this PS4 without deleting other stuff because it has no more space. And I was thinking 250 gigabytes. I'm pretty sure the PS4 has that much. At least I think so. Let me take a look. Okay, so this actually has 405 gigabytes. 400 gigabytes, basically. And I am at the limit with all the games that I have. So, the problem here is that I feel like with PC games tend to be bigger than console games. Console games don't seem to take up quite as much space as the PC stuff. I think because they can really, really optimize for consoles, where they can't with PCs. PCs have so much, different parts, I guess. So I figure 500 gigabytes. I'm probably going to want that at least. And it did cost me a lot of money. It basically is the equivalent of buying two 250 solid state drives. Basically. It was a little less. It was like 170 or something like that. It's still a lot of money. But I felt like that was better over doing like a 250 solid state and then getting like another terabyte hard drive. Because I'm not going to save anything on this new machine. I don't save videos and pictures and music. I do that on my machine upstairs and I do that on all my laptops. But, I mean, I got hundreds and thousands and tons. I got tons of memory on the other machines, and I can just save shit to them. I don't need to do it on my machine down here, my stream/gaming machine. It could be really essentially pure, in that all it should have on it is games and all the things necessary to run and play games. And, of course, the stream. So I want to keep it clean that way. I don't know if that really makes them... I'm not sure if that's optimal. I don't really know. I couldn't figure it out. So I kind of went with the safe bet and just got a bigger solid state drive. And also, you kind of got to consider I don't know how to build this shit. So if I have a solid state drive and a hard drive and I got to learn like where shit gets saved to, I have 2 drives and it's going to default to one of them. I don't know. I feel like it's going to fuck me up. So like, yeah, I feel like I did a good move going to the 500. The 500 room on the solid state. Well, you'll probably need 2 8X due to the amount of slots. Yeah, that's probably true. I'll have to replace whatever I got if I want to do the 16 gigabyte. But I already got the 8, so... I mean, I'd rather just run with the 8 and see what happens. Because, again, I haven't heard anything about the 60 gigabyte. If I had something... If I knew what RAM was really doing and what it did for me, I'd feel better making a decision. It's just... I'm so new to this shit. I never really thought about what's under the hood. Up until now, I've always just bought these parts, and then I threw it over to this NCC National Computer Place, a bunch of Asian dudes that would put shit together for me. And then I wouldn't have to worry about it. They would verify to make sure all the parts fit together too. So it was, it was a no-brainer for me, but it cost me a few extra $100 because they had to fucking put it together. You'll want that at least, and it'll fill up, and it's an SSD. Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense, right? 500 gigabytes is probably pretty good. Gigabytes. 500 gigabytes. Gigawatts. I don't know. I mean, I'm happy that I bought it, but I guess that's really the best you can do. I mean, I just don't feel like 250 is going to let me play that many games. I'm gonna run out pretty quick. So, storage is good. The case is good. The power supply, again, just something I found off the Goons list. It was kind of a vetted system. It had tons of reviews. Good quality stuff. It's just some EVGA Supernova. I don't even know. I've never heard of it before in my life. But it looks like it works. So that's the machine. I'm pretty sure we covered everything, right? Yeah. I got the CPU. Yeah, that's everything. That's it. That's the whole list. It says on the list here it costs about $800, but the truth is I managed to lower the price quite a lot. It's more like $700. I managed to get all my parts for about $700. So the only two things left, the only two things I don't have with my PC, for my new PC, graphics card and a Windows operating system. I do currently have Windows 7 put on a flash drive. So if I want to go get a key somewhere, maybe even through, backdoor means, and if I want to stay with Windows 7, I actually already have it set up. I got a flash drive and everything. I just have to find the product key, which, could take a little bit of work. Or I can just join everybody in the modern age and get Windows 10. And to be honest with you, I'm starting to lean a little bit towards Windows 10 just because I feel like we're going to have to use it anyways. I mean, at some point, Windows 7 ain't supported, and I'm going to need to jump on 10. So, yeah. I'm just, I don't know. I'm really lost on that. On that one, I'm really lost. I'm just not sure what I want to do. The other thing is the graphics card. I want to get a 1070, GTX 1070, because it seems like it's going to be the one to do everything I need it to do. I got a TV here, a 40-inch TV. I'm hooking that up to the PC. 1080p is all I want. And then I'm going to have, you guys saw it a long time ago, I used to have a monitor back here. It's not proper 1080. It's like 1366 or some shit like that. But I'm going to use that to put like the chat room and shit on. So I can read the chat over here, and then any video games I play on the PC are going to be displayed on my main TV over here. That's the objective. So because of that, I want a graphics card that is able to kind of, that is good. I want a good graphics card. 1070 is a good graphics card. If I were to really pull out the wallet and get like the 1080 Ti, which is the brand new shit everyone's jumping on right now, I mean, that shit is designed for virtual reality. It's designed for 1440p. It's designed for 4K resolutions. I'm never going to do that. At least right now, I'm never going to do that. So I feel like for the first handful of years, I could really get a 1070 and do a great job with it. That's where my head's at right now. But maybe prices will go down by the time I actually pull the trigger. Really basic RAM is the temporary storage for all the data the PC wants to access fast with the CPU, GPU. Huh. And it sounds like, whenever I read about it, it sounds like 8 gigabytes is really it. If you get more than that, you have to be like you have to be doing something extremely intensive. And I guess streaming, because you got to understand that when I stream, I'm going to have this capture card over here doing all the work. So it's not like my computer is doing the grunt work. I'm pretty sure all the encoding and stuff happens on the card over there. What is really going on the computer's end is just kind of facilitating that to make sure that it, kind of dumps it in a proper file. That's why my laptop is able to stream, like it can. I wouldn't say as well as it can, but like it can. But yeah. that's the news, man. That's the big news. I got this shit coming. It's on its way. The only thing I don't have, the only thing I do not have is that. What are the specs for streaming PC? CPU, Intel i7 5820K. So I already have the 6600. Motherboard, from what I understand, motherboard you can really play around with. You can kind of get anything. So whatever they're suggesting, MSI X99S gaming. And keep in mind, all the parts I got are like Goon approved. Something awful Goon approves of these parts. And when I did my research on them, they had very good reviews. The motherboard didn't have a great review because apparently it has a wireless card in there that you got to set up, and that shit's really weird. MSI GTX 980 cooling. I've never heard of it. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. That's the GPU. MSI GTX 980. Yeah, I mean, really, it's about the video game. If you can play the video game, then you're going to be able to stream it. The streaming part is kind of handled by the CPU. So if you have an i7 like that list suggests, you're really maxing out your ability to stream. And you don't even need the i7. It's just, it's going to do it better. And that's it. Liquid cooler. Okay, I don't think I need that. Case. Black, red, iBuy power. Oh man, I don't know what in the world this is. Seagate 4 terabyte hard drive. Okay. Seagate 4 terabyte HD SSD 240. Kingston RAM. Ripjaw 8 gigabyte. Okay. DDR4. I don't know what that is. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like it's even overkill for some of that shit. The thing is, I don't know what that motherboard is. I don't know what that motherboard is, and I don't know what a lot of all that stuff is. Streaming PC setup uses 32 gigabytes of RAM. Well, then how come you only have 8 gigabytes of DDR4? Oh, it says times 4. Okay, so you got 4 of it. So I know that's not really... That's for the streaming part, not the gaming part. That's probably for like a severely overkill dedicated streaming part. Because I can tell you that my current machine upstairs right now streams and plays video games no problem. I was able to play Fallout 4. My stream on Fallout 4, I've only got 8 gigabytes in my machine upstairs, and it's got like an i5, first generation i5 in it and shit. That shit is old, and I was able to stream Fallout 4 with no problems. No problems. And I didn't even have the capture card for it. It's, yeah. So I think that's way overkill. You know, I'm sorry, man, but this is way overkill. Especially because it's going against everything I've read. Are you sure this is like the minimum? Are you certain this is the minimum? I swear to God, everything I read, it's nowhere near there. It's nowhere near that amount of RAM. It's overkill on RAM. That's what they say. And they say if you're going to spend that much on RAM, you're just wasting money. I don't know what to tell you. I definitely, and I can tell you from my experience that 8 gigabytes of RAM has to be okay. Because my machine upstairs, which is way inferior to what I'm going to try and build, is already able to stream Fallout 4 while I'm playing it without an encoding capture card. Without a capture card, it does shadow play using the graphics card that it has, the 660 Ti. It's an NVIDIA, and it does a shadow play thing. It basically takes it as like a second monitor, is what I've been told that it does. It basically acts like a second monitor, and the stream is like a monitor, and thus it doesn't take much effort at all. It doesn't even need to do the capture card process. So I'm pretty sure, I'm reasonably sure that I won't need that much RAM. And again, everything I find, when it comes to like what you can use, what you can need, it's only 8 gigabytes. I mean, you kind of pulled this out of somewhere. You just kind of pulled it out from elsewhere. Streaming PC, yeah, I mean, I don't know. So I don't know, man. Like maybe 16 gigabytes is worth it. It's just, I just don't know the extent. And I feel like jumping into this, the 8 gigabytes is kind of tough. It's kind of tough. And then plus, again, you're right. I have a smaller console, so I'd have to get better. I'd have to get less, RAM, cards or something. You know, I only have 2 slots, right? So I would have to replace that with, what would I have? I guess each one would have to be 8. I'd have to have 8 gigabytes RAM sticks. Yeah. Anyways, I mean, in any case, I don't know what you're trying to say. You know fucking nothing about computers, and I'm fucking hyped to sell. I don't know. I'm fucking with you. I don't know. I don't know anything, alright? This is my first time. You should just be excited that I'm even bothering trying to build the damn thing in the first place. I could have just said fuck it and gone to the Asian guys and had them build it for me.